James, Clem, how's it going, brother? Are you doing all right today?
Todd, how you doing? Hey, this is a little different today because I'm sitting here hands free.
I'm running the show. I'm not in the bunker again today, but I had to come to the practice.
From Austin, Texas, Digital
Awesome.
Enamel headquarters. That's great. Hey, how you doing? How's your heart this morning riding your bike to work? I like that intro this morning. You added a few more clips. What type of camera are you using? Who's behind you on that motorbike?
It's one of those fancy 360 cameras. They're fun to play around with, but I'm doing good. I think life is good, and one of the things I love about doing this discussion with you, it's keeping me busy. It's keeping my brain focused, and anybody that's looking for something to do, you got to do whatever keeps your brain focused. Yeah. So. Anyway, hey, we got a good like right there, so thanks, and some comments are popping up. Thank you for that, guys. James, what you got on you today?
Well, I started off with a good walk this morning with my dog, and it got my brain in the right frame of mind. I live up on a hill in Rincon Valley in Santa Rosa, and this place is known for being beautiful.
It's beautiful. You live in a beautiful area.
As I was walking down the hill, I was looking across the valley, and there's a mist, and the sun's coming up, and you're just thinking, it's just so peaceful. And in my brain, I was just thinking, this is really what life is meant for, and we're just having to deal with this little hiccup with a virus that we can't see. Yeah. And the dichotomy there was extreme because I'm very visual. I see a lot through my eyes. Mm-hmm. And yet we're dealing with the reality of our times. And one of our objectives here online is to give people hope. And the people we interview, we talk to them about that. We're bringing a lot of people in from different walks of life that have some type of touch on dentistry. And how are you dealing with this? Because it's actually helpful for me to hear other people, knowing that we're in this together. And that's kind of where my heart is this morning.
Yeah, I've mentioned this in other webcasts we've done, is that my biggest concern is for the newer dentists, coming out. And one of my favorite memories of just being in the dental world is when I was in dental school. Christine, my wife, and I, we'd take walks in this park, and and she was a dental office manager at the time, so she was very dental educated. She knew more about dentistry than I did coming out of dental school, but. We would take a walk in this park, and we'd take a notepad with us, and we would talk about all of the things that would happen in our practice, and the dream of it and living it. And there would be coffee at the coffee bar, which was a big deal in the 90s to have a coffee bar. And so I go back to that dream, and I don't want to forget that. I want to keep living that dream, and I'm not going to let this downturn take that away from me. So I'm dreaming, buddy. I'm going to make things better. When we come out of this thing, I'm going to be rocking and rolling.
As the saying goes, to have critical thinking, you have to process your emotions, because the emotional part of our brain, which is the amygdala, that's the center there, and we have to deal with that with clients all the time. But if that's not in control, people can't use rational thought. And I think what this has done for me, just hanging out with you online here, it's helped that portion of my brain that I needed to have a little help with, and that's conversation. Conversation helps us process things, and I really appreciate what we're doing here online just from that standpoint. Yeah. And then bringing other people on, it really helps me. So thanks a lot, Todd.
Well,
I really appreciate doing this.
James, we need hope all around the world. We just got little greetings from Alan Leong from Malaysia. So we're
that's wonderful.
Yeah, worldwide. Thank you, Alan, for posting.
How you doing, Malaysia?
Yeah, and one of the things that you and I have not even discussed, we need to have an international guest on here as well, just to find out what's happening in other countries, because there's different aspects to everything. Hey, we've got.
I know.
Go ahead.
I know between. It's interesting because I know you have Digital Enamel, and that has a really international reach. I have the Clem Institute. My online site is all over the world, and it's interesting to get comments from other parts of the world, and it makes the world smaller. And yet, this is the reach we have with the digital platform today, particularly with what we're doing here. So my passion is in my life right now is to reach out to others.
Yeah.
Not that I know it all, because I don't. But this community allows us to all grow together, and that's why I enjoy this so much. So thank you for being part of it with me. I really enjoyed it.
I need to be in Maui. Let's do a broadcast from Daniel Maeda's office in Maui. That sounds really good. Thanks, brother. Thanks for joining
Todd,
us.
When we do that, let's get green screens and we'll put Hawaii on behind us.
Yeah, no problem. Hey, we got a special guest today. One of the things we've wanted to do in this webcast series is bring in leaders of dentistry, whether dentists, assistants, educators, whatever they may be, but also people in the field, because there are people we can't forget that dentistry isn't just dentists. There's hygienist assistants, there's territory reps, there's manufacturing reps, and they are down the line from us. They're probably hurting even more so. So who better to talk to about this but Alex Nudel from RevenueWell, and he's on now. And Matt, you're one of my favorites on Facebook, brother.
Yeah. Thank you. It's a pleasure to be hanging out with you guys. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Hey, Alex, and I say this with playfulness, but have you ever considered your middle name RevenueWell?
I actually have a RevenueWell tattoo over here, and Nudel matches with RevenueWell. So I come in there, Nudel from RevenueWell. I have it made. I have it made.
Very good. So
I hear your name often in my practice. In fact, even we're actually using RevenueWell to communicate with our clients during this downtime, and it's a major part of our infrastructure of communication. But having said that, how are you dealing with this downtime? Where are you at right now in this world?
Right now, I just got back from Richmond, Virginia, where I took my daughter Michelle. She's starting VCU in the summertime in her dental program. So we're really excited about that. And there's all kinds of chatter. It's like, oh my God, dentistry's changing. Yeah, for the better. It sure is. And so Michelle is starting, and I'm at my home office that I'm doing a whole bunch of fun stuff. And I'm excited to do this webinar with you guys. Both of you are customers of RevenueWell and friends of mine for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is an integral part of our practice. And,
how did you get in RevenueWell process and how you integrated that into the dental system and how you've blessed us? You've really blessed us a lot, because you've made our communication, particularly now that so many people text. Most of my elderly clients, I have a large elderly base, they text.
They do. You have a high-tech elderly base, just like I do in South Florida. When we're talking about older people, it's typically 92 and above.
Really?
Well, that
so
makes
things
me
have
feel
been really
young
well.
now.
That's right. And me too. And so you're a customer from 2014. Todd's been a customer since 2015. I see you guys all over the place. And I'm a customer of RevenueWell. I'm customer number one with Dr. Nudel in our practice.
Oh, that's right.
So we can talk about
what gave you this idea to start this process. I mean, what's your background?
My background is sales and finance. Mm-hmm. And so when we first opened up our office in early 2000, we really didn't care about how we're going to communicate. People just walk in, we put up a shingle, we said we were there, and things were great. We were in a very interesting community that was up and coming. Once I started getting more involved with our office, I didn't really want to communicate with our customers as much as I wanted to engage them, because we had a lot of new technology in the office. We were one of the first ones in our area to have a CEREC. We had digital paperwork. We had all of this great stuff, and I didn't know how to share it besides spending a lot of money in ads in the community. And I said, there's got to be a better way. And at that time, we were using a competitor And we said we have to make it a little bit smarter because we're entering a lot of information into the practice management system. And now how are we going to use it to engage our customers with it, our patients? And so in 2008, we decided that we were going to go for it. In 2010, we launched it. In 2012, we launched it with Patterson Dental. We have thousands and thousands and thousands of customers together. And most of our customers are guys and gals just like you, to where you have these amazing practices. And they don't have to be huge practices. We have some of those as well. But they just want to make sure that their patients are aware of what they're doing, what they're going through, what they have available, and never to be in a situation where somebody comes in and says, hey, I just got all these veneers, or I did an implant, or I got something done because something somewhere says that it's a cosmetic practice and you're just a family dentist. So we wanted to make sure that we educate everybody in the world.
You know, I go back in my career, and there was a period of time a while back where I just had an aesthetic practice, and I spent thousands of dollars every month in marketing, even before I had a website, in publications. Yeah. And I think of my presentation now through the internet, using RevenueWell, using Facebook, using all these social network platforms, of where we've shifted our marketing budget into more of a direct communicational plan. And I'm just thinking of how much things have changed. But I do have to confess something here. Are you ready for this?
Yes, sir.
You helped me learn how to text. I really wasn't texting too much until we started RevenueWell. And now it's my major way I communicate. And, you know, it kind of dates me a little bit. I was pretty much an email guy, and I'd much rather text today than any other focus. How do you look at the market and you bring on these new technologies? How do you feed this into your thinking and your plans?
We do a lot of analytics. So today we have 80 million patient files under management. We have thousands and thousands of doctors. And so we capture the journey of the patient. We know when they first get scheduled because we have the digital forms. Mm-hmm. We know when they come in. We know what they've been treatment planned. We can read their charts. We can read what they're actually doing, how they're making their buying decisions. You know, are they jumping from dentist to dentist, or are they being loyal? We know exactly how long they've been there with you. We know their birthdays. We know. So we do it by studying. It's no longer a gut feeling that we think that we should do something. We just see how they interact, what they request. And we have a huge, I know 80% of our customers. Literally, they have my cell phone number. They see me on Facebook. They're interacting with me. And so we listen to them and we decide that we're going to do things. When this pandemic happened, we turned around and we said, well, we need to give our customers tools. So one of the first things we decided is, we went into our home base and we started working from home. So that was a challenge. And I know what it cost me to set up 100 employees, 20 employees at home. So I said that the people that are sitting at home, they want their own privacy. So we said, why don't we have an ability to dial out of RevenueWell, the system, so they don't have to use their own cell phone, so they don't have to use their own telephone number at home and everything else. That went crazy. We were looking at virtual consultant visits from a long time ago. We just didn't feel that people will dive into it so much, but we gave them this option. And we're not even talking about charging anything. We want to make sure that these virtual visits were being able to happen right away. So everybody woke up and they got it in the morning, and we started seeing them using it. We thought that a lot of our customers are going to panic because they're listening to a lot of these so-called coaches and consultants cancel everything, get rid of everything, don't pay anybody, start stacking cash, forget about you. We started thinking of what are our customers going to do? And so we typically send, let's say, 10 million communications per month. Now we're doing 30 million, and our customers are just engaging more and more with their patients. And I believe that's going to help them when we're ready to go out. That, we say out of sight, out of mind. You don't use it, you lose it. And so we helped our customers stick through that and keep on engaging with their patients and their community, actually. Because
so,
what we're seeing is...
Alex, in this time right now when people aren't in the office, how do you suggest practice communicate with the patients? Like, what is a message you think would be good for them? How often? And, this would go for people that aren't using your service as well. So what do you think we should be telling them through text right now?
We should be, first of all, we increased our text by tenfold. We want to make sure that you're able to send out larger size text. So what we have to tell them is, this is nothing new for us. We've been dealing with all of this through a lot of different pandemics and we know how to handle these type of crises. We understand, we sterilize, we protect ourselves, we barrier, and the whole 9 yards. This is absolutely nothing new for us. But yes, we are understanding more and more. And every week we give them updates of the things that we're going to do. But we're definitely not scaring our patients and saying, oh, you're going to be sitting outside, we're going to send a drone to come pick you up. None of that is going to be happening. We want them to know that we're ready, we understand, we know what's going on. But what I'm seeing more and more is regret from our patients. They're regretting not doing something when they had the ability to do it. They're regretting not listening to their doctor when they said that, hey, you really need to take care of this. We got to do this inlay. We got to do this onlay. We got to do this crown. So we don't have to worry about it, because we are really trying to make sure that they understand and prevent things from happening. Dentists are in the preventative industry business. That's what we do. And so a lot of our patients are saying, hey, we should have done this. And now they're going to be doing more and more listening and saying yes a lot more often. And they're going to jump onto it, because we're getting people trying to get their crowns. We're getting people trying to get things done. And we're saying, we're sorry, we're only seeing emergencies. And that's going to stick and resonate with them for a long time.
How often do you think a text should be sent out to the patients? Like, is it daily from now on, every other day, once a week? And I would think you should want short, right? Or what should we be doing right now?
So here's what I'm watching. People that don't have their team join in do it weekly. And the theme is what we've learned so far. People that have their team members, their assistant, their front desk, their managers, their literally their lab people, they're doing it every day. They're reaching out and saying, it's kind of corny right now, we miss your smile. But what we're saying is like, hey, we see an X amount of patients every single week. It's been 6 weeks. We're that backed up. And now we're seeing that not only the patients that were unscheduled that are starting to panic and they want to get in, the people that haven't been in for 2-3 years, they're trying to get in as well. So we're trying to explain to everybody how we're going to bring them back. And we want people to raise their hands to let us know who's ready first, who's got the emergencies, who's going to be doing things, how we're going to do the hygiene, and what we want them to expect from us. And so that could be on a daily basis. You guys are lucky because you have digital charts. So you can literally go out and say, I want to talk to anybody who's got a perio disease, anybody that we've done root planning and scaling that is on perio maintenance. We're going to see those people first. They need us more. So we're going to schedule them. Or a lot of people are saying we're going to be extended hours to get everybody back into their maintenance routine. We're going to see the patients that need us more. We're going to place implants on Mondays and Wednesdays. We're going to be doing restoration, single visit dentistries. I mean, just think about how lucky we are being in the CAD/CAM world, because our lab never closes.
So that's amazing. I just love your passion. Keep feeding me right now, Alex. I need to be fed.
So we're literally communicating. We're all travelers. Todd and you, James, we're all travelers. And so whenever anything happens with the airlines, with our flights, All we need is information. Let me know what's happening so I can make my decision. So the people that are not reaching out to their patients right now are going to lose them. The people that are staying in front of them are going to win this battle. They're going to come back stronger than ever, and it's exciting.
Very good.
That's such a positive message, and I really feel your passion there. And if one thing I want to suggest right now, we have our viewing audience, particularly the live ones, because this will be rerun. If you have questions for Alex, make sure you type them in. We'd like to utilize this time to communicate, because Alex, you're a wealth of information. You've helped us all in our practice, and we have you live, and that's amazing. Todd,
and I love doing this.
Yeah, Todd, when you're thinking of what Alex is saying, how are you going to incorporate that? Is there anything different you're going to do now, coming back to this, with what you already are doing?
Yeah, I'll be honest, as you were talking, I was sitting there thinking, gosh, this whole time that I've been out, I've kind of selfishly been thinking about, well, myself and PPP loans and all this other stuff and my team members and everything. I kind of neglected to think about my patients. We've been answering phone calls and things like that, but I need to be more direct about like getting in contact with them. And now is probably the time to do it, because we still have about 3 or 4 more weeks for sure. And now would be a good time to reach out. So Alex, thank you for motivating me to get that done.
Absolutely. And you guys, you're so much more advanced than most of the dentists that are out there. You have tremendous equipment. You guys are speakers, but you don't have to be. Like, I use an app, a teleprompter app called Big View, and to where I can write down a little script and put it in front of me and read it. And it doesn't have to be perfect, and deliver the message. And Todd, you said that it needs to be short. Well, if you deliver the most important part of your message within the first 30 seconds, you have the rest of your life to continue talking about it, because people then decide whether they want to stick with you or not. I make videos that are about 12 minutes long, and everybody says it has to be 30 seconds. Well, if I say that I'm going to be doing something, and for instance, here's how it's going to be, and this is what we're doing, people will listen, and you have strong presence. And what I do is, not only do I do this with my patients, I then take those videos and I put it into my community, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. And I've been getting a lot of my neighborhood doctors that said that we're closed. I said we're temporarily closed, but we're seeing emergencies. They need to know that we're there for them, and then they love it. So when we're doing these things, I'm getting people from the neighborhood saying, my doctor is closed. I said, okay, I will see you in an emergency, but before we do, we have to do a virtual consult. I want to tell you what to expect. I'm going to tell you, I'll be honest with you, what part of what's going on we'll be able to do. Yeah. And I want to see you face to face, and I want to be able to evaluate before I put you in front of my staff.
You know, my journey in dentistry, and what I've learned through the years, it's all about connecting. And so patients feel like they're being heard, and they feel safe and secure. And there's no better time than to ramp that up, particularly now. I had a emergency yesterday on a client, and he called, and he was so grateful that I'd come in and see him. And he's over 70, so I did my little interview just to make sure he's safe. And he came in, and he was going, I just hated to bother you, and yet they're so grateful. He goes, thanks for being here. And it kind of surprised me, because he's been a client of mine for years, but we're here. But that perception that people are getting, particularly if they're watching media, main newsline media out there right now, there's a lot of sensationalism, and the reality of fear is out there. And I think we can take this time to really calm people down and let them know that we have their best interest in mind. And yet we're going to make sure we do every pathway in our practice to make sure people are safe and secure. Yeah. And definitely communication is the core of that. And you brought a few points out today that I wasn't even thinking of. So, wow.
I want to talk about something that you said yesterday as well that got me.
Yeah.
When you were doing an interview with Andre, who's a dear friend of mine, love him to pieces, and he's had so many practices out there.
He was great.
One of the things you said, you don't want to sound like a used car salesperson.
Yeah.
And here's what happens to me. Way too often, years ago, I used to look at somebody and judge them and pre-qualify them. They can't afford this, and I shouldn't be talking about that, and maybe I shouldn't give them the total picture. Maybe I should just talk about one tooth and everything else. And what I found was the more honesty that I had with my patient, the tougher I got and told them the truth of what is expected and what we can deliver, the more patients would listen. And I want to tell you that Dr. Klim, Dr. Ehrlich, you guys are honorable guys. You're well known in your community. And so don't think that people are not going to be able to pay you for a virtual visit or you shouldn't charge. Because if it's free, it doesn't have a lot of value.
That's
true. But what I'm doing is I'm charging for virtual consults. But I'm also telling them that when they come in to do whatever it needs to be doing, that I'm going to deduct it off their bill. I don't want to make a living doing virtual consults. It's not what it's about. But I want them to have skin in the game. I want them not to waste our valuable time because this is a completely different time. So I want them to want to be able to do it. And what my biggest problem was is I thought that people were only going to call me about emergencies. 20 million people without a job this particular moment. I think it's going to get back. People are talking about cosmetic stuff.
Yeah.
Because they're going to go to work looking for a new job again. They might have not had to for 15, 20 years. And people are saying, like, I need my mouth redone. I want to feel good about myself.
Yeah.
In the worst times in the world, lipstick is the number one sold item because people want to feel good about themselves.
That's right.
That's the way it works.
Yeah. You know, you just said something that tapped with me because in this journey over my time of practice, and as an educator, I'd have to say a lot of dentists have an issue with fee rejection, and I did for years. And I have found through the years is the more upfront I am with fees, I quote a lot of my own fees to clients, and when they say it's expensive, I agree with them.
I do too.
Because it is. And there's a saying that Paul Homley shared with me a number of years back, and it's just changed my life because it's about being authentic with your client. And I always ask permission. I'll say, you're here today. I don't have any agenda for you outside of listening to you. I also need your permission to be candid with compassion. I use that word all the time with my clients. And then when I give them a fee, I don't see a lot of sticker shock anymore because I'm setting them up in a very honest conversation. And that's what I hear you saying here. And if we were to project what we're trying to communicate here to our viewing audience be yourself. I would memorize phrases for years and try to close cases that way. And there's a part to learning to communicate that way, but I don't do that at all anymore. I share what is right in here. Look at a client, get the eye contact, stay respectful to the space of communication, and then share your heart. And some will, some won't, and that's okay. And some will eventually do. But it's just more about developing that relationship with people. And it's an interesting journey because I'm really resonating with what you're saying. And I hope our viewing audience will really take this to heart. And if you're not there yet, kind of go with this mental framework of staying positive and don't worry about the rejection of treatment plans.
Hey, we got a question that came up from Renee. Alex, how do you prepare for after the coronavirus? Like, what is the one thing that dentists should be doing, in your opinion? And maybe you already said it with the texting. I don't know.
Well, clinically wise, I'm not going to get involved. I will not even get anything. What I think dentists should be doing is educating their team on how to be sensitive to the people that are scared and how to deal with the people that are gung-ho and ready to go. Mm-hmm. That's something that we need to understand right away. And if we communicate with our patients and we ask them, what do they feel is necessary for them? And that's why the virtual visit, we can get ready. That's my biggest thing. Because if you ask me, right, I don't need you to spray me up and down. I don't need you. What I need to know is that you understand what this is all about and that you got my back. That's what I need to know. I might not be comfortable if you're going to bring me into a world where there's 20 people sitting in the waiting room, which you guys don't have anyway. 90% of the people that are listening to us are not DSOs or these big mega offices. 90% of the people that are dealing with us are 1 or 2 doctor practices, 2 or 4 hygienist practices. And as long as we tell them this is what we're doing, we are not going to have anybody sitting in the waiting room. Everybody's going to be in the individual rooms. We're going to be working with you that way. We're going to make sure that when we prep and when we get you out of there, that you will be standing alone, one-on-one with our people. We will not put you in harm's way. This is what we need to do. And we need to do it in video. And we need to do it in mass. And we need to do it all the time. And we need messages from everybody that is going to be connecting with them. Hey, I'm Judy. Before you speak to the doctor, I want to tell you how things are. And they've always been this way. We just never told you.
Yeah, right.
The only thing that changes, we're in Miami, so us Russian, Cubans, and everybody that is here that is used to hugging and kissing, it's a sad world. But the fact of the matter is, nothing's really changing. We're not going to be doing the crazy stuff that everybody says that we're going to be doing. This is not what it is. I'm not going to tell you that it's blown out of proportion. I want social distancing. I want to make sure that everybody's good. But I'm going to tell you that we're ready to open. And if we open the right way, we will be stronger, we're going to be better, and we're going to be able to charge the fees that we should be charging because we're going to be making sure that we go above and beyond to get what we need done.
Amen. Amen to that.
Thank you, Alex. Hey, I wish I could just reach out and give you a hug right now.
Yeah.
Me too. I might have to come to you over there. That's God's country. And Todd and I, we have to take a motorcycle ride. My bus is coming your way.
Let's do it. We can go pick him up. He can ride in one of our sidecars. How about that?
We'll figure it out.
Hey, Alex, you got any last words for us? We're going to start wrapping up.
I do. Poll your patients. Survey your patients. Find out how they feel and who's ready to come in first. So I'm going to go out and I'm going to start creating campaigns at RevenueWell, and I'm going to say anybody who I have treatment planned for a D2740 in the last 24 months, and I'm not going to go worried about how insurance is going to pay for it, and I'm not going to be worried. We are in the world of making people feel better and everything else and taking care of their teeth. So yes, insurances are ready to pay. Yes, we're going to do it, but I want to know who's coming and who's not. Who's coming in my phase 1? Who's coming in my phase 2? Who's coming in my phase 3? What am I going to be doing with hygiene? How, I want to be ready. I'm calling my Patterson rep. I tell them, give me all my supplies that I need to make sure that I'm ready to see them. I'm going to be getting my CEREC blocks, making sure that I'm going to be able to do everything because more and more people are going to want everything done at the same time because they're not going to be doing it. I'm going to be talking to people as they're making appointments. I'm going to be doing a virtual consult, and I'm going to say, hey, by the way, you're coming in here for a prophy. I have a treatment plan that needs to be done. I'm dealing with those patients first. Are you going to be that patient?
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Are you going to be that patient?
Yeah.
And
man,
let's get it rolling.
An inspiration, my friend. Thanks so much. Yeah. And I think that's the reason why James and I used your service, and I knew you were going to give us some great information. I feel enlightened already. How about you, James?
Yes, this is this was a enthusiastic, motivational help me today.
Let's do it.
Hey, before we let Alex go, though, we got to do a duck face picture.
Yes.
Let's capture this. I love you guys.
Hey, Alex, I got to ask you, how did you start doing that? I mean, you are known for this. What's the background behind this?
It all started in the early 90s, Kisses for the Kids.
There you go. Yeah.
And so anybody had a very large corporation, publicly traded, and we were donating money. And so we wanted to make big collages of people sending kisses for the kids. And every time they did, we donated $10.
Oh, nice.
And that's where it all started. And our industry, everybody's all stuffy and everything else. And I'm not the best looking guy in the world. I don't have your hair. I don't have your poise. So I said, you know what? I'm going for it. And this is what I'm known for. And everybody comes up to me and they're like, let's do that. Let's do that. Let's show everybody that.
I see that.
And it's amazing.
It's part of that connection brand that you have. So.
That's right. If I'm not doing it, people are worried that something's wrong with me. So
yeah,
I love you guys. Keep on doing everything.
I love you
I'm
too.
going to see you at Dance Barcelona World. I'm taking my bus over there. We're going to be back in action. We're doing it big time.
That's right. Let's do it big time. Alex, thanks, brother. Thanks for.
Hey, Alex, you touched my heartstrings today. Right at the end there, when I lost my words, I was actually getting a little emotional. So, thank you for doing that.
You're my inspiration as well, because the way that you communicate to everybody, I'm learning. I'm a speed talker from New York, and you're engaging me a lot more, and I'm feeling very comfortable. And so thank you guys for doing what you're doing, and let's keep this going. Let's open up, and let's move forward.
Amen. Thanks, man.
Well,
good
thanks
seeing you.
for
See you
coming
around
on.
Facebook.
And hey,
James.
I love you, man.
Love you too. And love you. Todd, we're going riding.
Thanks, brother.
Yeah.
All right.
See you later.
James, so great one. Just a mahalo. That's from a movie, I think. Thanks, Daniel. Appreciate the shout out. And let me just review who we got next for the people that are watching. You know who's coming on. We've got Dr. Twan Pham tomorrow. He's the dental maverick. He's here in my country of Texas. Great guy. Huge following on practice management, really an innovator in dentistry. And then right after that, we've got Adam Nolte, who's from the UK, and he runs Digital Dental Association or Academy. So we got
That's going to be fun.
Yeah. You got any last words, my friend?
Well, thanks for that really touched me today. I actually got a little emotional inside. Alex just has a framework of mind. You can see why he's been so successful, because as you think, a lot of times that's as you go. It doesn't mean you're not going to have hiccups in life, but a lot of my journey is trying to reach above and getting out of this framework that we're in right now and thinking about our responsibilities. And there's always this thing that we have to toggle back and forth from between worry and staying proactive. And I think he helped me with my frame of mind of staying more proactive in a very positive way, because, you and I, we're doing this because we're trying to share hope. And I think he shared a lot of hope today.
He's a great guy. Just awesome.
And it was almost like a therapy session for me.
I could tell.
So,
you were cheering up.
I do have a question to our viewing audience. I know you and I, we were talking about this, but we're doing, like yesterday, we did 2 live interviews, and we're doing one today. And we won't be doing this volume when we're back and working, but it's something that we want to continue. But give us some feedback right now, because we have enough people to interview where we could do several a day. Is that too much? Is that going to burn people out? We're at home. There's not, even though I'm very busy with my online site, in fact, I'm editing videos and I'm staying very active on that side of my life, I still like to connect. So if people could maybe post their comments about, are we doing enough for you? Are there any other topics you want to talk about? We have a lot of different topics that will be coming, but we want to highlight people and how they're dealing with this right now. And eventually we'll get probably more into the clinical, but I think we're going to expand beyond clinical, because practice is all about communication and connecting, and there's a lot of wealth that we can grow with on that. But I think if we heard some comments from people, and is 1 a day enough for you? Would 2 a day be maybe too much? I don't know.
I'm getting some responses. Looks like 2 is good right now. There are some recommendations on. We've already got some of these people lined up that are sending me some messages. So anyway. Let's wrap it up, my friend.
Okay.
You are always an inspiration, and thank you so much. And we will see you guys tomorrow, right?
Till next time, stay safe. Wash your hands.
Yes, wash your hands for sure. Thanks.